Hello, folks, and welcome to Real Estate Q&A. I'm your host, Greg Delane, and on this show, we speak about different topics dealing with the home buying process or what it takes to own a home or the different things in your properties. And I always try to have experienced people on my show. I've always said experience is the difference. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about VA home loans, and I think it's so important to help the veterans, men and women who have served our country. And I've met a nice young guy that we've talked, and I just had to have him on the show. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce David Nedlin.
Well, thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me on. And, just a little background about how I got here. I started in the mortgage business back in 1985, so that's about 18 years ago. And my father, who was a captain in the Army, along with two of his military friends, they decided to go against the grain and open up a mortgage bank that was geared towards serving the veteran and military community. And shortly after they got it up and running, I joined them, not knowing anything about the mortgage business, veteran loans, anything. And after a short time of being educated about what this VA home loan program was, and after starting to meet with the veterans, I've realized in a very short time period that they had no idea what this VA home loan program was. Matter of fact, I had really very little idea, and I knew just a little bit more than them, and they knew nothing. So it became very evident very early on that really nobody had an idea about what this program was about. So as time went on and I got more educated, and after sitting down with 5, 6, 7 veterans in a day, what I decided to do was think of a way I can get this message out to a whole bunch of veterans so I don't have to repeat myself 6, 7 times a day. And just about at that time, I was approached by the commander in New York City of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. And he happened to hear about us one way or another. He knew we were doing veteran loans, and he knew that the owners were veterans. And he said, "Hey, would you like to do a seminar at the Manhattan VA Medical Center?" And this is back probably around 1987. So I was like, sure, that sounds great. And what we did was we promoted this in the Daily News, and the edition came out on Friday in the real estate section. By noontime, we had 300 reservations. We had to set up a second night, and it really confirmed in my mind what I knew all along, which was there's a need for this education in the veteran community. Not a lot of veterans know about this program, and there are a lot of veterans that want to buy a home.
Go ahead.
And so, again, that was the beginning that led to what I'm doing today, which was throughout working in the mortgage industry and working with veterans or whatever. I ultimately, in 2000, broke away from the mortgage business per se, and that I stopped becoming a loan officer. I started my own company called the Veteran Home Buyers Network. And what I've been doing for the past 13 years is just going out and trying to bring this message to the military community, trying to educate and inform them of what the VA home loan program is, what their benefits are, how the program works, how the home buying process works. And we've done workshops and seminars in armories and Marine Reserve Centers, on the Intrepid, at VA medical centers in Brooklyn, Bronx, and Manhattan for many years. And we keep on trying to do that. So basically it's brought me to today where what my mission, what my goal is to still educate this segment of our population, which if anybody deserves benefits and if anybody deserves some kind of service, it's the military community for what they do for us. And that's basically, in a nutshell, what I set out to do, to show them how to go about using this VA home loan program and becoming a homeowner. So
You
that's
know, I can't say enough about the people who put their lives on the line for this country, and they do. I know my father. He was in the military for 28 years, and as an Army sergeant. And years ago, things were a little different, and this country has to take care of the veterans, men
absolutely.
and women. They come back, and it just needs to be as much done as possible. I'll tell you what, Kevin, I got some questions for you. And, you know, I've been in this business for quite a while, and I think out of maybe the 300 or 400 homes that I've sold, I've only done maybe 3 or 4, maybe 10 VA loans. Either uh, somebody was buying because I mostly list, or I was working with a buyer that, and they used a VA loan, and you know, but I can't tell you how many people's homes I've been in, and the husband or the wife had countless military stuff up on the walls. You know, you would think that in 300 or 400 homes, I should have sold maybe 150 homes dealing with veterans.
Right.
But
Right.
now we're here to learn. If you're watching this show right now, I want you to know that David's website is veteranhomebuyersnetwork.com.
That's correct.
Veteranshomebuyersnetwork.com, and you will get a chance to see this on our site when they do the credits at the end. But keep that in mind. He has a great website, and I want you to be able to go to that. All right, first question. Boy, I wrote some of these down thinking about asking. It makes me look like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What is a VA loan, and who can qualify for one?
Okay. Basically, a VA loan, VA stands for Veterans Administration. A VA loan is basically, it's a unique thing in that you have to be a veteran to get it. And now, not all veterans, let's say, would be eligible for this program. And if you're watching, to break it down really into three main categories, and it gets more technical than this, but basically we're going to speak in general terms. If you have served 181 days consistently active duty, then you're eligible for this program. If you have been in the reserves or the National Guard and not ever have served active duty, but have been in there for 6 years, then you're eligible for this program.
Really?
If you've been deployed or if you've seen wartime, then you're eligible for this program. Also, though, if you're a reservist or a National Guard member, and let's say you're only in there for 3 years, but then you get called into active duty, then you are eligible. So I would say about 90% of the people that I'm dealing with and that come to me are eligible for this program. And basically what the program is it's a program that allows the veteran to buy a home with no money down, because the VA, the government, guarantees 25% of their loan to the bank, which will act, and I'm going to speak in kind of simple terms, it's kind of like getting a down payment but not getting a down payment. You have this money, it's guaranteed towards the bank. They know they have it in case you have to foreclose on the home, or God forbid something happens beyond the control of a veteran where they can't pay their mortgage, and that's when this real benefit comes into play. But with the ability for the government to guarantee up to 25% of this loan to the bank then says, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Veteran, we're going to do this loan for you with no money down. So that's the mechanics of what a VA loan is. And, the VA home limits right around here now, you can go up to $722,500 with no money down. In this area. Now, there are other areas in the country where that differs, but you can be approved up to that amount for any 1 to 4 family home
Okay.
or a condo. They don't do co-ops in a VA loan.
Okay.
So basically, a VA loan, again, is a government-insured program that enables a veteran to buy a home with no money down and gives the lender the satisfaction, the comfort to be able to do this kind of a loan with no money down because they are guaranteed up to 25% by the government.
Well, David, that's amazing. I was just thinking. Now we're going to get to this, you guys, because there are a lot of new agents. Is that? Oh my God!
See, and I shut myself off.
Oh my God! And it went off. I am so sorry.
So you're getting a call from a veteran already.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that something? I am so sorry. Let me just ask, what kind of credit do you need to be approved for on a VA loan?
Okay. Here's the one kind of cool thing about a VA loan and your credit. In my experiences, it is the most lenient of all mortgage programs as far as your credit rating, your credit report goes. However, there are some standards that you wish that you have to get to. Number one, VA loans traditionally aren't credit score driven. However, the lenders look to have credit scores somewhere around the 640 level, which is relatively lower than other kinds of programs out there. However, there is the fact that the VA and a VA loan, you can't close on a VA loan if you have open and unpaid collection accounts. So you either need to pay them off beforehand, you can pay them off at the closing,
Mm-hmm.
and regarding credit, see, a while ago I realized that a lot of veterans out there that were coming back from deployment had their credit compromised, either by intentional theft, or they just didn't know what to or how to prepare for their service. Sometimes military deployment comes very quickly. You can't plan for it the right way. So this happens to a lot of veterans that come back from deployment. Their credit is not great. And what we've done for these veterans is that we have a credit restoration program that will take their credit as is, hear about the background of why it got to where it got, and we will look to restore their credit to where it needs to be to get to a VA loan, to get approved for a VA loan. But here's the thing, as far as credit scores or what have you, and here's one of the advantages of a VA loan. If you go outside of the world of VA mortgages into the world of conventional loans, your credit is graded based on your credit score. You have A credit, B credit, C credit, what have you. That's not the deal in a VA loan. If you meet these minimum, and I should say in a conventional loan, your interest rates are predicated on your credit scores and your credit rating. So somebody who has A credit is going to get a better rate, better terms, have to put less money down than somebody that would have a C credit loan outside of the world of VA. But in a VA loan, as long as you have that minimally accepted credit,
640 and up?
640 and up. It doesn't matter if your credit scores are 641, 681, 741, 791. It doesn't matter. The interest rate schedule is the same for everyone. So you could have just passing credit, or you could have top of the line spectacular A credit. It's the same rate structure for a VA loan.
So if the 4-star general had 820 credit,
Right.
and the private
Right.
had 641,
Right.
they're seen as equal.
They're going to get the same rate.
Do you hear that?
Right. And again, my experience is that more veterans I'm dealing with are in the 640, 650, 660 range as opposed to the 800 range.
Yeah.
So it's a benefit of this program that That's very important.
Next question. In dealing with veterans, what has been the biggest challenge in moving forward with the home buying process and using the VA home loan benefits?
Okay, that's a good question. Um, let's say we get beyond educating the veteran. Let's say I get them to the point where they know everything about the loan they need to know. They know about the process of buying a home. They're ready. They're going out. They're looking at homes, and they find a home they really like,
Mm-hmm.
and they make an offer on that home. And as most real estate transactions do, there's realtors involved. So what happens automatically is that the listing broker on this particular house that they found, they want to find out about the potential buyer. Now, when they hear that the buyer's a veteran, that he's putting no money down, it scares realtors. It scares realtors to the point where, in my history, I've had a lot of realtors that just took the other person's deal over a veteran,
Mm-hmm.
just based on the fact that they didn't really know about this VA home loan program, and their perception was that it was this long, drawn-out thing. It took 6 months to close, which couldn't be further from the truth. Matter of fact, you can close a VA loan deal as quick, if not quicker, than any other program out there, because there's a lot of things that you don't have to do in a VA loan that you have to do in other kind of loans. And it's just the general lack of information, lack of knowledge
Mm-hmm.
about this program. Like you mentioned before, you've been selling homes, for many years, but a very few of them have been VA loans. That is because, and I hear this all the time, a veteran will meet me and they'll say, God, I wish I would have met you 10 years ago, and I was going to buy a home, but the realtor and the seller, they talked me out of it. They said I had to do another kind of a loan to be able to get my offer accepted. And that's probably the biggest challenge. And I've spoken to a lot of realtors about this,
Mm-hmm.
and sellers too, in that the fact of the matter is that, and us in the business know, it's not necessarily how much money you put down, but how good of a borrower you're going to be. If your deal is going to be approved and if it's going to get closed, and that's how everybody moves on in this business. So trying to convince someone, and again, it might be a legitimate concern. If you're out there selling your home,
Mm-hmm.
and you get this offer and they're not putting any money down, you're going, well, wait a minute, what happens if they change their mind and I take my home off the market and now I'm stuck?
Yeah.
So what I try to suggest to veterans is that even though this is a no money down loan, the way to really show a realtor and the seller that you're seriously interested in this property is if you have a couple of thousand saved up, put it down as a good faith deposit. You'll get that money back at the closing, but now you turn the table around and you show the realtor, hey, realtor, I don't have to put any money down, but I'm going to. I'm going to give you this $2,500,
Mm-hmm.
and just to show you how serious I am, and if I don't close and I can't get approved, you keep the money, And that's probably been the number one obstacle
With
for
that.
me. Yeah.
Well, and I know that a lot of agents will be watching this show too. So if you're watching and you have a question, I want you to call David. I want you to call him and bring that up. I think that, when I first got into business, I did whatever my broker told me to do. And so I only learned from what he knew. And then after I became my own broker and started doing this, I see a lot of different ways of doing things, and it makes sense. Some things, and in defense of real estate agents, let me just defend some real estate agents, because a lot of times it's not just the agents, it's the attorney.
Sure.
This is an attorney state.
Yeah.
We don't draw up contracts.
Right.
And sometimes your client will say, well, wait a minute, they're not putting any money down.
Right.
I worked 6 months. Me and my wife, we saved 10, 20% to put down on a house. And that's what they know and that's what they understand.
Exactly.
Or their attorney
Right.
will say, oh, no, we want some down payment. They
Right.
got to put down at least 10%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think that there are veterans out here who are selling their homes, downsizing, moving on, and I feel they should give another veteran a chance.
Yeah.
Give
Sure.
them that opportunity. But when you present a pre-approval, you've done the homework on them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And that brings up a good point, which is just a couple of things I want to get to, which is, you know, if you are a veteran and you're looking to buy a home,
Mm-hmm.
and as part of the overall process, what you really need to do is get educated on yourself just to find out, well, how much of a home can I afford, and how much will that cost me every month? And that's basically what you need to know. You don't need to, and once you know that, then you can intelligently look for a home. But in order to find that out, and in order to get to that point where you know, you have to deal with a licensed mortgage banker who's VA approved in the state you want to buy a home.
Sure.
And you know, which is somebody that I deal with, and that process of finding out is called being pre-approved. So basically, you know beforehand that you're going to get approved for this mortgage before you even start looking for a home. And that's something that is crucial. It's something that when I do my home buyer seminars, it's the number one point I make to them, in that they're going out looking for a home before they know what they can afford. And if that means they're either going to find a place that's going to be more than they can afford, and they're going to get frustrated that they can't afford it, or they're going to find a place that they're going to settle on, and they're not really going to be happy finding out they could be approved for more. But also with that, I just wanted to mention a couple of things so I could, you know, let everyone that's watching know about this. Just a little bit about the VA loan I didn't mention before. It's basically, in a nutshell, it's good for any 1 to 4 family home or a condo. The veteran is expected to be living in that, or their primary residence or secondary residence, but it's something for the veteran. And you know, it's also the kind of property that we do under the VA loan program is meant to be in move-in condition. So it's not something that needs to be fixed up and repaired. It's something that you're buying and it can be moved into in that kind of condition.
It has to be habitable.
Right, exactly. And you know, there are many other benefits and features of this VA home loan program, but I have found, again, doing this 18 years in New York, is that the lack of source of information for veterans, and that's why, again, I do what I do to get that out there for them.
Listen, we're down to 3 minutes. I told you it was going to go fast. Right. I want to get these other questions in. What features of a VA home loan do most veterans not know about?
Okay. When somebody hears about a VA loan, it's basically no money down. That's what stands out. But there's a lot of other things too, and I'll run by them kind of quickly. There's no PMI insurance, and what that stands for is private mortgage insurance, and that protects the bank, not the veteran, or not the client. So they don't have to pay that.
They don't have any PMI insurance.
Right, and what that can do is that can equivalent into about 0.5% of what their interest rate would be a month. So let's just say if they got a rate of 4%, just picking out a fictitious number, in theory, if you had PMI to pay, you'd be paying 4.5%. So that's a money saver right there. There's no prepayment penalty on a VA loan. So if you close on a loan today, and this Saturday you get one of those scratch-off cards, you play the Powerball, and you get the jackpot, you can pay your loan off in full.
Tomorrow.
Hopefully, me too. And there's no prepayment penalty for that.
Wow.
Another feature, and I'll try to make this as easy as possible, but there's a VA streamlined refinance process, in that if you're in your home at least a year and you're making your mortgage payments on time, and at any time after that year the rates go down significantly enough that you go, wait a minute, I closed it 6%, 5%, 6%,
Now it's
and
two
the
and a
rates are
half
at
or
2.5 and
yeah,
3.
yeah.
I want that rate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just kind of a one-page application. You can't take cash out on this thing, but there's no appraisal done, and there's no employment or income verification, which means, and it's very important, in that, let's say you bought your home and you're a married couple and you have two incomes, but since then, maybe you've had a child, maybe the wife stops working, maybe the income's gone down, maybe you stop working on that second job you had for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe in the technical sense, you can no longer qualify for that loan amount that you need to refinance.
Yes.
Well, in a streamlined refinance, it doesn't matter, because if you're paying your bills on time and they're higher, common sense is you can pay a lower bill
Mm-hmm.
on time. So that's a feature, and also the value of your property. Just recently, several years ago, the real estate market went in the toilet in New York and everywhere. And people were trying to refinance, and they couldn't because the value of their home was lower than what they owed. Well, if they were a veteran and they had a VA loan and they needed to refinance, that wouldn't be a factor.
Wow.
Because the value has no bearing on this kind of a loan program. So those are, and there are other kinds of benefits too. Too many to go into here, but there's significant number of benefits other than the big no money down type of thing.
Amazing. Listen, that's how quick our show goes, David. I think this is a great show. You've given a wealth of information for people to know about veterans and their VA home loans. I want you to look at his website, and you can probably give me a call. Go to my website, which is delanerealty.com. These are my mailers that I send out. I will put a link on my website that will attach to the VA home loan, so you can be able to reach him. And listen, thank you so much for coming.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks again.
I'd love to do it again sometime.